This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. You know, I'm here with my only friends, and that includes my boy with the toss, Tortu!
I had to give it to you today, man. You got that Bucko shirt on. They're about to win. Let's go.
So I'm coming to the world. I'm letting you guys know. The Pirates are my number 3 team this year.
You fucking whizzed that thing.
I was not expecting that. I was like, oh shit.
Stop over there.
They button hooked me.
Didn't know it was going to button hook me.
Jesus, man.
I'm curious.
What's up, Landon? How you doing, man? You good? Yeah, you good, Landon?
Landon's
All right.
busy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Landon is
Landon-
shooing a bird out of my
Landon
house.
melted into a puddle. That's him there on the.
We're joined by a very special guest, Mr. Brent Hanks in the house.
That's
it sounds
who
like
we got.
What's poppin', Brent?
Hey, Brent. Oh, he's muted.
No, we can't
hear you, buddy.
we can't hear you.
What'd you do?
Oh no!
Oh man.
You're muted.
Come on, man.
Nope. I didn't do anything.
You
So
turned your mic off. We can read lips. I can
we can-
translate
yeah.
for Brent. You know.
Oh, boy.
Sounds like the aliens are attacking. All right, well, Brent figures out his mic because it's currently not working. Switch your settings, bro. Don't just throw your hands up. Hang up and call again.
Hang up and call back,
Get
please.
him out of here. Get him out of here, Guap. Kick him out of the
Get him
fucking
out.
Zoom. Get him out. We'll get a real game host on here, you know?
We're fired up today, Berkey.
Man, it's late night potting. Lamanna's
Listen,
drinking.
I'm drinking. The academy is done. It's over with. Get a day off tomorrow, sort of. Well,
sort of,
not,
kind of.
not
Half
really,
day off.
actually.
Half day off. Just
Yeah.
the podcast.
Nah,
Podcast is a short day.
I'll probably do a few emails.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys don't know, Lamanna's the unsung hero. He does so much behind the scenes that I nor anyone else wants to have to deal with.
Got to keep this ship going.
This man's out there, you know, handling all the emails, customer support. He's reaching out to all the attendees, making sure that they're well cared for, getting them the Zoom links, the Discord links, the Academy links, everything.
So many links.
So many links, man. So many links.
Now we got beers.
Now you got beers in the buckos. We give him this is his celebration. We let him have the buckos on in the background.
Oh, they're
so
winning.
When Lamanna goes silent and or just shouts, know that the Pirates have done something.
Listen, 3 outs and we raised a Jolly Roger.
All right, here we go. Guap, any luck with our guest?
Well, right now we have his name, so
Hey,
that's
there
good.
he is, Brent
Okay,
Hanks.
well, while we wait on B Hanks, why don't we talk a little bit about the Poker Out Loud new season that's coming out.
Yes.
Just dropped yesterday. Poker Out Loud Season 9. To clear up maybe some things that are a little misunderstood from one Douglas K. Polk, who said that it's $4,000 to watch Poker Out Loud. That's not true.
That's free.
It's sort of free.
It can be free.
It can be free. It's actually, a part of S4Y TV, which is our subscription site, $49.99 a month. Right now, we're running a promo code. If you use sign-up code SICKDAY in honor of my man Air Nuts,
Yes.
you will get a free month plus a 2-week free trial. So that's 6 weeks. That gives you a lot of time to catch up on all that
please,
Poker Out Loud.
I have a feeling this is going to happen, but if you do use this code and you sign up, and people, they just want the free month and then they want to get out, and that's fine.
That's fine.
Right?
Just cancel.
Right? No, don't.
My bad. Don't cancel.
Don't. You can cancel, but do not cancel while you're in the trial period, which is the first 2 weeks. If you cancel while you're still in the trial period, then you're canceled, and when it clicks over to the next month, you'll just be canceled, and you won't
kick you out. You don't get your free month.
You won't get your free month.
Yeah, you don't
got to
wanna do
let the 2 weeks expire, let the free month kick in, and then you can.
You see,
Then you can not cancel, and because you'd be so thrilled with what we got.
Lamanager out here teaching you how to game the system.
Yeah. Exactly.
Season 9 of Poker Out Loud, though, is
I just want them to get their free month.
Sure, I get it.
I just actually what's going to happen is they're going to email me and say, "Hey, listen, I wanted my free month. Why am I not getting my free month?" And then I'm going to have to go through the back end. I'm going to
He's making his life easier.
Make my life easier.
Season 9 of Poker Out Loud is a star-studded one. We have the champ, Espen Jorstedt. He's in there. We have 2 MTT personalities, streamers galore. One Spraggy and Tonka will be joining us for Season 9 of Poker Out Loud. Also in the mix is myself, Matt Hunt, Landon, Christian, Ewan, and...
You said Hunt, right?
I did say Hunt. Am I forgetting one more from day one?
Oh, from day one.
Oh, yeah. Jamin also joins us.
Jamin Burton?
Jamin Burton.
Yeah, the guy that shows up to every tournament and just like vlogs.
That's him.
Yeah, every single tournament, he just shows up, walks around on break, and just vlogs.
I'm like, you're playing this? He's like, yeah, I'm playing this. I'm like, you playing this? Like, no, I'm not playing this.
Never. But he's always
films it.
He's always there on break.
Yep. In the cast streets.
Go ahead and roll that beautiful clip that we have of Season 9 while we get Mr. Hanks back in here.
Is this bad?
You can head over to S4Y.io. If you don't already have a membership, be sure to sign up.
As you said, Berkey, we did forget a couple people. Guy from Montana
That's right.
is in the mix. He's in Poker Out Loud.
Wait, the guy in the chat? Guy from Montana?
Guy from Montana, the man himself, David. And he's also coming to the Tournament Academy.
That's right. He had previously attended
the Poker Out Loud
Poker Out Loud Academy.
This guy is all over the place.
Zach Fuentes also, who won our contest.
Won our contest. Then he comes out here.
Via the trivia.
Wins a tournament for $100K.
Yeah. Played on Poker Out Loud. He was did well. You guys are going to want to see. Brent, I think we got you back.
Yeah, I hope so. Is it?
Oh,
is
yeah.
it working
There
now?
he is. Hey, what's up, Brent?
Sorry about that.
You put this.
I don't blame myself. It's got to be your end.
No, yeah. I mean, you're not a boomer when it comes to technology or anything.
Yeah.
You put those kids to bed.
No, I can hear them running around upstairs.
Right.
It's
So
gonna
I might be cursing a little bit later.
That's fine. No, they hear much worse out of me.
You know, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with you, Hanks.
You're pretty good at that, Burke.
What the fuck is this high stakes poker lineup, man? Just Berkey versus the world? Is that what's going on here?
You easily could have declined, pal. I mean,
you put money in the streets, you know.
Listen, it's a great game. The people want to see blood, and you have all credit to you, though. By the way, you easily could have just passed on this, but you didn't. You're in the ring. You're completely outnumbered.
I was gonna say they want to see Berkey's blood.
I don't see the issue. It's Berkey, and then it's Jennifer Tilly. She can play well, but she's not like, I don't think she's top of the top pro. I mean, there's Rob Young. There's
Rob Young previously retired me.
Well, he did, but I think you might have a lower edge over him. And then you have Doug Airball and Eric. They're all heads up specialists, so they're put them in the ring. They're fucked. So I don't see the issue, Bert.
Go wrong.
Well, man, he really put some work in to set that one up. I have to give him a little bit of credit there.
You're welcome.
Keep drinking, buddy.
I got a couple in reserves.
He's so fucking happy. Yeah, I mean,
I assume that the listeners and the viewers, they understand what Rob Young did to you a few years back. I mean, you were retired from poker because of it. Started the business for what?
No. The business was already flourishing, and I exaggerate this story a bunch, but basically there was a really sick 3-6-12 game that was running for like 8 days because one of our VIPs, Kareem, was in town, and Kareem loves to play with me in particular for some god unknown reason. And so I had a seat for like 8 days straight. The game was great. It was like me, JRB, Roble, Rob, Rick Solomon may have been there. I can't really recall. And Kareem. And at the time, I was pretty flush and on my own. So game was huge. Obviously, playing 3-6-12, it's massive. So day one, I took a huge chunk of myself. I took like 80%. And I ended up losing small. I lost like 80K or something like that. And I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore. So day two, I sold half of myself on $500,000. And I was stuck like, I don't know, 150 or something like that. And had like, I wasn't in for the whole $500,000. I think I was in for like 4 or maybe 350, something like that. So, but anyway, I was stuck like 100, 150, and I had like 300 in front of me or 250, something like that. And this hand happens where Kareem double straddles the 2400, comes to me on the button, and I make it 10K. Rob calls from the small blind. JRB calls from the big blind. Kareem calls from the straddle. We go 4 ways.
Your hand is what?
I have blackjacks, and it comes 10-4 deuce red. Checks to Rob leads for like
two-tone, not mono.
Two-tone, right? Rob leads for like 10K into 40. Kareem calls. I make it like 80 or 100, something like that. Rob jams. I call, and I go twice, and he goes, "No, I can't win twice." And I go, "Please?" Absolutely not. I was like, okay. So it runs out 3 of whatever the suit was, and then a brick river, like a 9 or something like that. And I was like, fuck, I just can never win. And I table my blackjacks, and he goes, "You got unlucky, mate." And he rolls over black 4-3 off.
Oh, no.
Just like, at that point, I had like 100K on me.
God.
I was stuck like, 250 over the 2 days or whatever. And I was just like, I need to go home and reevaluate some things. Like, I can't keep playing. I'm just like losing way too much of myself way too fast. So I went home and I did like some inventory and everything else. And I just like wasn't mentally there. I was like, I can't keep playing this game. It's too big. I would have to sell like 80% to feel comfortable. So I just opted out for the next 6 days.
Yeah.
And then I keep telling Rob that he retired me.
You. Yeah.
He just put me in the hospital.
Yeah. Well, recovery time.
You're a better man because of it now. Look what you've done for yourself.
Oh yeah. I'm real proud of what we're out here doing. I wake up in the morning. I have a text from Brent. And it just says, it just says what's going on, and I have a link to a Charlie Carroll thread.
And seriously, I woke up to Twitter, per usual, and I'm like, okay, take a look at this. What is this? Charlie's all over Doug.
Yeah.
Some post. It's like, what is happening? And then I'm gone for the entire day. I don't check Twitter again until almost 6 o'clock tonight, and I see what you have done with Doug and this just outrage, whatever is happening. In fact, I'm still trying to catch up. I don't know. Is this on purpose? Is this part of the bit? Are you really friends and you're setting this up for the show?
People actually believe that. There's people that have that narrative out there.
I'm sure Broad says that.
People would love to believe that, and I think that maybe that speaks to how authentically my feelings shine through in these types of situations. Like when it comes to like Doug and Airball and like people that I have beef with, I legitimately loathe them with every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
I mean, there is just no part of me that has even a shred of respect for either one of those two. Eric's different. Eric is just like kind of poking the bear, seemingly trying to get like attention redirected onto him.
I think Eric is harmless.
I also think Eric's harmless. I also have like enjoyed his company away from the game, where I can't say the same about the other two who just like out of the blue started attacking. Like the Doug attacks on me happened before we had ever even been introduced to each other. And it's just like, what on earth is going on here? Like literally within weeks of both of us launching a company, like it just began. I'm just like, okay, like I guess this is a new world where we just talk shit about each other on the internet. That seems okay, whatever. Same thing with Airball. It's like the first time I met him was the day before we played Heads Up.
Yeah.
That was literally it. That was the first time that I ever come in contact with this guy. So like, no, it's not made up. It's not for, at least not from my side. It's not for attention. It's not for clicks. I genuinely do not like these people.
Let me ask you this.
Or should you?
Excuse me. Would you consider Doug to be a net positive for poker, the entertainment, the industry?
Not any longer. And I would say that at one point he was, but with the caveat of there's also a downside to it. Like, I think that, yes, him growing a platform as large as he did and him, kind of leaning into the YouTube personality type of business model was a net positive for the game as a whole. But I think that he, as a figurehead and persona of this space, is a net negative on the community as a whole. So it's like, I think, and I don't want to give him this much credit or blame, but I don't recall pre-Doug Polk there being this much ire between, relative peers. And maybe it's just a byproduct of social media growing and us just all having a louder voice and the ability to just talk shit to one another in a public forum. But like when Facebook was the most popular tool out there and we were all grinding online poker and stuff like that, outside of the actual chats of the games being played, I don't really recall it just being daily drama of who hated who type of nonsense.
So what is it about the hundreds of thousands of followers that attracts players, fans to go and watch Doug? Is it simply because he's funny?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think like largely he is funny at someone else's expense. And that's one sort of humor. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but like I'm not overly critical of that. I think it's more so the damage that he does through his joke. Like, there's a way to be funny at someone else's expense without like causing a rippling level of damage to said person. And also, like, yeah, as far as like the amount of people that are paying attention, I don't know the algorithm that well. Like, he's clearly gamed the system incredibly well. I'll never slight him for his ability to reach scale and to reach the masses. I just think, like, he's a shit human, which it's kind of difficult to platform somebody like that in any space, in my opinion.
Arrogant cunt, I think, is the word.
Yeah, that was the phrase that I've coined for my man. Now, what about you? You think
if he does get the legislation, the legal situation down in Texas straightened out for poker, would that change your tune about him being perhaps a net positive for the industry?
Possibly. I think it depends on like what the end goal is. From my understanding, what they're just trying to accomplish is to legalize uniform across the board what they're doing as operators. So basically make it okay to open these pop-up storefront shops. I think that comes with like a lot of problems. So I think that it's really problematic to have a cash in, cash out type of industry like we have with poker, where there's no oversight or regulation. I'm not somebody who's like massively in favor of bigger government, but for the betterment of the patrons, to like protect them from an integrity standpoint, from a security standpoint, from all the things that like I've been critical of that Doug took so much offense to, I do think that you need some oversight, whether that's a gaming board or something else. I'm not really sure, but if it's just a matter of like allowing gray operators to operate in a gray market, I don't really think that that's doing anyone any favors.
Fair. Let me ask you one final thing before I give you your podcast back. What's it going to take to get you and Doug shake hands, sort of just, let bygones be bygones. Let's put this away. Similar to what Daniel and Doug have been able to accomplish ever since their high stakes feud matchup. Is there anything that can happen where the two of you just say, hey, listen, I'm sorry I crossed the line. Let's go. You do you, I'll do me.
For the life of me, I don't know why Daniel is okay with Doug after all things that occurred. And I'm not one to give that sort of free pass. Like, I would happily accept an apology, and, I would be a big enough man to apologize for the things that I've said or done that may have been out of pocket. But I'm not, I don't, first of all, I don't know how genuine it would ever be, if at all. And a disingenuous apology is a non-apology as far as I'm concerned. But secondarily, it's just like, I don't think it changes the way I view his character as a person. I think he's an absolute shit human being, and that's not someone I ever want to associate myself with. So like, an apology, and like, the only thing I can think of with Daniel, and this isn't a slight against Daniel, I actually really understand it, as a lot of people have kind of spoken to me about they'll privately support me, but not want to publicly say anything. And a lot of it is just like fear that they'll be in Doug's crosshairs next. And what makes a lot of sense to me from Daniel's perspective is that they play this grudge match. He earns a little bit of Doug's respect as a competitor, and he values that enough to say like, okay, let's call a truce. I'll let bygones be bygones, as long as like you get off my back and I get off of yours. I get it. It's not me, man. Like, it's just not me. I'd rather get dunked on forever than like create this bullshitty acquaintanceship with someone that I think is just like a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
Amen.
I guess I struggle with I get that it's become so personal and that this has lasted for a while, but I haven't seen anything about Doug that is a human that makes me think he's a piece of shit outside of, he creates content and often will attack and sort of punch low.
Did you happen to catch that hit piece on S4Y as a company? Did you see that one, or did you miss that one? I can shoot you the link if you want to.
I did see that, and I think that I did see that, and I think that there's a line you simply don't cross. You don't try and tear down someone else's business, especially when you have.
Well, if you're a shit human, you do.
But that being said, it's Doug. He was responding retaliation against what Berkey laid out for. But
that's the thing, is that he's not, right. He twisted that narrative too, and 100%. I think it's easy to say like someone's not a shit person whenever you constantly just forgive them by saying like, well, it's Doug. Like I put a tweet out today that addressed all of the things that he was claiming that I lied about the lodge for, and a lot of it is just revisionist history. So he DM'd me the day that we put that podcast out. He went through a list of things that he believed I got wrong, and then a list of things that he believed I wasn't at liberty to criticize because they're hard things. And, my expectations of operators are too high or whatever. There was just like a lot that we disagreed about. And in that DM, I said, okay, no problem. I'll make corrections on the things that I got wrong. But like, you don't get a pass for things that you're currently in the midst of fixing that are problems right now. Right? Like, that's not the way this works. And it took him 6 months to put the hit piece out because it took him that long to correct a lot of the things that I said were wrong. And putting that piece out to 300,000 people, making it appear as though everything that I said was false the day that I said it, and that I'm the asshole for not giving him a heads up that I'm going to criticize him on a public platform, as if like, he ever did that in the past somehow, is... it's just a level of narcissism that I, A, don't want to be associated with, and B, have like very low tolerance for. So like, yeah, when I say he's a shit human, sure, he doesn't cheat and steal. He has character flaws that to me are difficult to accept from someone in a position of power like he has. Like, will he twist narratives and omit facts and stretch the truth to better dunk on somebody? Absolutely. Does he actually care about integrity, truth, and all these other things, or bottom line more than anything else? Probably bottom line. So it's like, whatever, our fundamental ethics don't really align, and as a byproduct, we fight tooth and nail over things that I think are important and things that he's rationalized away. So when I say he's a shit human, he's a shit human based off of my expectations. He might just be fine in a lot of other people's eyes, and that's completely reasonable. You're free to like who you like. I just, under no circumstance, I don't think I could ever see us burying the hatchet and shaking hands and going our separate ways.
It's fair. I mean, I get it. It's ugly right now. The shit human thing is hard because, I mean, there's other things that I think, especially now being a dad, right? Like, he's probably a good dad. He's probably a great son, a sibling, brother, whatever. There's
Is he
things.
though? Is he though? He's out here dunking on 40-year-old men on the internet for most of his day. Like,
but it's his business, right? Like, that's kind of what he's created his brand and his business around. This is how he is padding himself. This is what's created who he is in the space. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be offended.
No, of course not. But
it's in life that maybe doesn't make you a shit human, even though you're dunking on others, right? Like Skip Bayless, is he? I'm just as an example.
He's a shit human. Skip Bayless is a shit human.
No, he's not. He's playing a role.
Right, he's not a shit human, and these are takes. They're very.
To give you an example, Brent. To give you an example of why that's a thought is because just how Berkey just called him a shit human, and you like stopped and said, "Wait, he might not be a shit human." The podcast with Airball, where he called Berkey a scammer, Doug just sat there and let him do that.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
Whoa! I didn't call him a scammer.
Yeah,
He's a
like
fraud, but I didn't call him a scammer. Fucking fraud. But like, I mean, like that's the thing. Like, it's like you
because Jeff and I got put in a very similar situation with Daniel when Daniel dunked on Norman Chad. And was, saying sausage this and whatever. He was, going nuts. And Jeff and I were kind of in this spot. We didn't jump in and stop Daniel. And we were ridiculed by Norman. And I'm not saying he was wrong. Maybe we should have stepped up in the moment and said something is a better person. You learn your lessons. If Doug went back, could he have said, hey, I don't think he's a scammer, but, he's a fraud, or however he's masking it now. Right? Yeah. I think there's times where it's difficult to step away from the moment, but it doesn't mean you're a shit human being. I don't know if he's a shit human being.
Well, it just depends on like your qualifications, right? Like, to me, somebody who has very lax business ethics, in my opinion, is a shit person. And again, like, that's just my opinion. That's my barometer. For a lot of people, that does not qualify somebody to be a shit human, and that's okay too. Like, we don't all have to agree on what is the bare minimum somebody can put forth when it comes to ethics.
Yeah. I'm not here, by the way, to, Doug's not paying me to come in here and defend. It's like, I know how you are. I've known you for 15 plus years, and I don't know Doug at all. I wouldn't consider it. We're friendly, but he's not like a friend, we're not doing dinners and stuff. But I also know you as a quality human that forgives and forgets. I've seen you do this many times. Typically these are people you're much closer with, but
that's the thing.
I believe somewhere down the road, as a professional, as a quality person, there's an opportunity to shake hands. You let bygones be bygones.
I think that's the difference, though, is like the pre-existing relationship, right? Like, I think a lot of what Lynn has done would qualify her as a shit human also. But we had a very close friendship for quite some period of time. So it's like, did my opinion of her change? Probably. But am I able to like kind of forgive and move past it? Yeah, probably also. But it's a big difference, right? Because like in that instance, it's going to go from like a friendship to just somebody else that exists where I just mostly dismiss her completely. Where with Doug, it's like from jump, we've just hated each other. And that's our pre-existing relationship. So the only place to go from there is like down further. Like the best case scenario is that you never hear from either one of us ever again, in my opinion.
What is wrong with this cat?
He's got the zoomies, man. He's got the zoomies. He knows. Listen, Chauncey is a performer. Okay, like he knows when the cameras start rolling. He gets up here. He spreads eagle on the desk.
I'm telling you, we don't see this cat literally all day, like nowhere to be found. And then as soon as the cameras turn on, comes running out.
Yeah, man. He knows how it is. He's here for this. All right, let's talk a little bit about this lineup. What went into curating the lineup? Talk to me a little bit about how you feel kind of being the quote unquote Vince McMahon in this instance. And then let's talk about this side bet that Persons is putting out there, because I'm not
a joke, right?
I'm not going to take issue with it because I could just game plan around it, but I have to tell you, you're going to get a different version of me than you would if there was no side bet.
Well, there can't be that side bet. I took that as very much a joke. In fact, I was concerned, and I reached out to Doug, and I said that he confirmed this is a bit. You can't do a bounty in a cash game. It's
I mean, you can. It's just you won't see me fucking bluff. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not going to fly under Arya as well. Paul's not. He'll throw every one of you guys out of there. But it's the cash game started. This is an expanded day. We had no intention of filming. We're going to be filming a number of days of high stakes poker, filming the entirety of season 11. So we bundle that up into basically a week, right? You and Airball made it very easy to try and figure out, okay, can we just get them in a cash game, full ring game together? I know you're not going to play heads up, but let's put you on the biggest cash game show of all time with AJ Benza, Nick Schulman.
Sure.
And let's see if we can put a lineup together. Sure enough, you agreed. Nick, of course, agreed. Eric Persson, he would never decline an opportunity. I've got Tilly here. I've got Bill Klein here. Rob Young just happens to be in town for business, and he's going to play. And then came, maybe you're not aware of this, Berkey, but this time last week on Tuesday, inside the location, very close to the chair you're sitting in now, I called Doug from the
did not know that.
studio.
Okay.
And I invited him, and he happily obliged and said, "You know what? I can make that work." So that's how this
he
came
invited
together.
Doug onto this episode of High Stakes Poker from the S4Y Studios podcast seat.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, why not?
Again, it's you guys make it easy. It's a matter of will you agree to play or not. If you declined, I totally get it. If things escalate so far and you just back out, or he backs out, or whoever backs out, I totally get it. That shit happens. People are human. You get angry. Who knows? Life happens. But as it stands, we've got a ball game live on YouTube, live on Poker Go, entirely for free. It'll be at 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday the 27th.
I'm going to be so drunk.
And then,
I'm going to be blacked out by the time it
blast.
starts.
And Nick Schulman and myself are going to do the broadcast. And then eventually that'll be turned into episodes where it's AJ Benza and Nick Schulman.
Right.
So you'll get the classic high stakes poker vibe.
Brent, can I call into the broadcast?
Why don't you just come down?
Yeah, I was
they
going to
got-
ask.
they got an open bar, bro.
Is the studio closed
I
for
will
everyone,
definitely
Brent?
come down.
They got an open bar.
Okay.
Yeah, come down. Just come down, bro.
And I can pop
Let's
in the
go.
studio?
Let's go.
Trust me, I think
Pop in the-
Berkey might
pop-
need a little support. So
Pop in the booth? Yeah.
I got the muscle with me, man.
I mean, you got to bring the tortoise down there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I'll be there
maybe-
by hour 3.
Maybe we'll just do the podcast up until game time. Throw right to the live stream thereafter. What went into the decision to live stream it, since it is usually just a chopped up produced product?
Oh, well.
There was, I'm not going to say a couple of the players that were sort of very adamant that it had to be live streamed, and it was also just a no-brainer. I mean, the climate now, as everyone is aware, Hustler's doing their thing.
Yeah.
Doug's got the lodge going. The appetite is there for these live streamed, long, lengthy cash games, and we did it with Cash of the Titans, with No Gamble, No Future. Obviously, that was a huge success. So once in a while, we'll space it out when something comes together and it just makes sense. Then, yeah, let's do a live stream. And
Yeah, I mean, all this, like, with the lineup that it is and everything that's going on Twitter and Berkey's match and all this stuff, you want this to be seen now, live. You don't want this to be edited and produced and released, a couple months from now when all the fire burns out.
Exactly. It's topical right now.
Yeah.
When this comes out, whenever that time may be, you're exactly right, Brian. People may not even have any idea what this had taking place between Airball, Berkey, Doug, Persson.
Do you have any concerns that YouTube terms and service may get broken at some point in this?
Have you ever seen the movie There Will Be Blood?
Yeah,
Great movie.
No, I think it's pretty inevitable that there's going to be fireworks. I don't think you guys are going to be able to contain yourselves the entire time. Comments will be made. There's certain things that I'll talk to the whole group about. I don't want attacks where your business is getting attacked. I don't want Doug in the lodge getting attacked. I don't want Eric Person's new noodle bar down in Summerlin getting ripped apart.
Honestly, I didn't know he owned I gotta say, I love Dragon Noodle.
Does anybody
I order from there all the time.
Does anybody know about this Molotov cocktail that's been thrown through the lodge window?
I mean,
I do now because of your tweet.
you can't take a nameless, faceless person on the internet with an egg for a profile as being serious, man. Like one random stranger with 3 followers tweets something, it doesn't suddenly become news.
I just want to know if it's real.
I highly doubt it. Also, there was, a long history of the lodge prior to Doug taking over ownership.
Right.
How long has it been in existence? I actually did not know.
It's a good question. It kind of became the most popular spot right after COVID, I believe. Prior to that, TCH kind of reigned supreme in Austin, but the lodge still existed. So it was the lodge, and then right across the street was like Studio 52 or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact name of it. And they were pretty competitive with one another for second and third string businesses. This is all prior to Doug's ownership. And I think like during the home stretch of COVID, I think the lodge either the owners either reached out to Doug or there was something in the works where he was kind of able to take over the ownership. And at that point, TCH was really losing momentum because a lot of their focus, I think, went to Dallas. And a lot of the market was looking more into like a solid live stream. It was just like a really good opportunity, I think, when Doug decided to buy and step in. It was actually right around the same time that we...
I thought that was real.
You're an idiot. It was actually right around the same time that we decided not to do business in Austin.
Yeah, you were playing footsie down there, huh? Down in Texas.
A bunch. We had a real cup of coffee with Palm Social, which ultimately ended up closing.
Is that the Chan Man operation?
No, that was in Houston.
It's now called Red Star, I think.
Which one?
The Palm Social.
Oh, I didn't realize that they sold to somebody else.
Yeah, it's called the Red Star or something along those lines.
Yeah, it was just a small boutique room. It was like 9 tables, something along those lines. And then the place across the street, we had some meetings there a few times as to whether or not it was something to look into, because they had a restaurant and I think they had a liquor license and some competitive advantages. But I don't know, man. The Austin market's tough. Like, God bless them for being able to maintain business the way that they have. Like, there seems to be like a lot of money in Austin, but I don't know how healthy the actual poker climate is. Like, it seems like a very stark divide of like you either get like 1-3 match stack or 10-25 plus.
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I have any idea about that, Burke.
Yeah, I mean, it was very different. Like every time we went, so we went to visit there a few times. We did a bit at TCH Austin, and it was popping. I mean, that was before the lodge like kind of took over. They must have had like, I mean, they ran a tournament too, but it was probably
that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of shit going on. There was like 20 or 30 tables going. They had the stakes ranging from like 1-3 all the way up to like 10-25 and like everything in between. This is when the Texas ecosystem was like the healthiest, like early 2020, pre-pandemic. And then we went back down like towards the tail end of the pandemic to Palms, 9-table boutique room that was almost exclusively 1-2, and we got like a big game off there. Houston seemed like it was kind of the center point for high stakes for quite some time, but then there was a lot of like the Johnny Chan room closing, which was, I believe, the biggest room that was running in Houston at the time. And then there was like that random week where one of the other clubs got shot up like a bunch of times, and the security guard was on camera like being the biggest hero on earth. The guy walks in with an AK-47, he just like tackled him.
That was
wild.
Nuts.
Yeah, it was really wild. Got cat hair all over me. This is crazy. Fucking guy sheds. He doesn't mess around. Real needy. What do I know you can't announce like who's playing and everything, but what does the rest of the high stakes poker season look like?
Yeah, I can touch on a little bit.
Okay.
Some of these characters in the game are going to be built throughout the season. I think it's pretty safe to assume, Eric Persson will be a staple of season 11. And then just one other thing that I can sort of hint at is that this has been the easiest batch of lineups, the easiest season for me, because I've had the help of Andrew Roble putting together games and lineups. And if for anyone that has any idea about Roble, that's sort of what he does across the world. He plays in these great games and has quite a roster. So whenever that happens for me, that takes a lot of pressure off my plate. I don't have to worry about games falling apart. He's got backups in place. It makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So when you've got Roble in the mix and you've got his crew combined with what you guys are doing live on the 27th, it's very safe to say that season 11 is going to be an absolute banger. And when Nick Schulman gets excited and puts out a video, you know, advertising this in a way, that speaks volumes. I think the last time he tweeted was October of 2021. So
I assumed,
yeah.
I assumed that was one of those things where Airball leaked the lineup in his Twitter Spaces, and the Poker Go Brass was like, "God damn it, we got to get out there and damage." And someone called Nick. Can Nick get out in his backyard and like just announce this lineup to the world?
You know, we were going to put it out. Nick knew he wanted to do something Monday. He was kind of waiting on us, but didn't realize he was going to wait for us. And he just had his cup of coffee and out it went. But it was very effective. I thought he did a great job with the video, and we jumped on its back right away.
Yeah. So what are the stakes for this season?
Well, we're playing as big as 1K, 2K, 500K min.
Wow.
And then the remainder of the games will be 100K min, 200, 400. But as you know, they always have a tendency to kick it up. Did you see the conversation with Rob Young, Persson, Doug?
My mentions are a dumpster fire, man. I didn't see anything.
Well, I have to go to each one of you individually, so let's do it with you right now on the podcast.
Okay, sure.
They want to kick it up to 200K min and play 2 4 mandatory 8.
Okay. Yeah,
Give it some thought. I don't want to put you in the public spotlight, but you can text me.
It's like, you know what? Yeah, right on the podcast.
I mean, it's one of those things when it comes to the stakes. It's never really going to matter to me if the lineup's good. Like the stakes are pretty irrelevant. It just matters of if I have to sell and how much I have to sell. So as long as I know ahead of time, it's fine.
I'll find out. I'll let all of you guys know individually over the next couple of days.
Okay. Yeah, seems great.
I won't call out who declines it either. I won't do that.
Well, I mean,
you can tell me.
You kind of told like four people already said yes in public space.
Well, I assume 3 of them are
your best friends.
Yeah, my best friends, and then the 4th probably Rob.
Yeah, Rob's in.
That's true.
Yeah,
Rob wants Doug to put $1 million on the table. He called it out on Twitter.
He really wants blood, bro.
He wants blood back. Yeah.
Rob doesn't give a shit about even playing poker or being involved. He wants a front row seat.
He wants to retire people. That's it. Like, you know, give a little pain.
Yep.
I think this is the first time we've had technically 3 casino owners at a table.
He should start like every time he like stacks somebody, pull out like a gold watch and hand it to him. Be like, "Thank you for your service."
I'll be so pissed if he starts doing that and I don't get my gold watch.
Did you invite Leon?
No, do not invite Leon. Didn't Leon get in a little trouble at Aria? I'm not trying to cause.
Maybe.
He was something with Matt Kirk. I don't know. Maybe that was resolved. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it went to court, but I do think it was resolved. I'm not sure what the outcome was, who won or anything along those lines. But yeah, there was some sort of debt repayment issue between the 2 of them that was being challenged.
Okay, so it wasn't anything to do with Aria. It was just specific.
I think it just happened at Aria, if I recall.
Fair.
They were playing either heads up or a shorthanded game there back in the past. What happened to Matt Kirk? What a blast from the past.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of rumors going out there.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's the guy. That's the guy that you played like 24 hours with PLO with.
Was not 24 hours. It was a long session. We played heads up for maybe 10 hours, 10, 12 hours, something like that. But he was seeing red. I was seeing green.
Did you beat him?
I beat for like 1.7.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was an epic day. But I gave him action the next day when he was like completely calm and rational, and I got waxed.
Gave it like half back. Or something.
I gave like half back. What a different human being he is whenever he's thinking normally.
Aren't we all?
It's wild. Oh man. What's next for No Game No Future? Are you guys filming that right now as well?
No, we're probably going to take some time off because we filmed a season. Obviously, when Clash of the Titans happened, the live game.
Yep.
Did an entire season then and there as well.
Oh, so that was when I came to film a day.
You played. Yeah, you played.
Yeah.
So we haven't even put out those episodes yet. We'll start to roll those out possibly before WSOP and then shortly after WSOP, and we'll film another season once World Series of Poker wraps up. So we're going to have so much content in the can ready to go once WSOP is finished.
Okay, let me know when the dates are going to be. I have, do you know Huss? He played on the WPT cash game.
Yeah.
He's in town for a month, and he is actually just messaging me wanting to play. So if you guys are playing during the summer, I think he might be interested.
That'd be awesome. You know who else I want out there is some of your old Pittsburgh pals, maybe some of those cronies.
Get Jack.
Jack crew.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if any of them play big other than Jack anymore.
We don't have. It's 20. It's no gamble, no future. We can
That's
play
true.
quarter 50. We can play 10 and a quarter for all I care. It's
Yeah,
all
they
about-
played a lot.
10 and a quarter, I could get in there.
I was going to
Just
say 10 and a
saying.
quarter.
Relax, Tortoise.
Send the invite.
Fucking relax, guys.
Listen, I can raise the funds.
10 and a quarter, I'm in.
You know who Phil Kessel is, Brent?
Hockey.
Yeah. He's actually good friends with Daniel.
Yeah. I think Dave didn't connect this, but told me that maybe there's a chance we can get him in.
He's a big PLO guy. So when he played for the Pens, he was there for 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons, something like that. He was the guy, the staple of what kept the PLO games running at Rivers. Like him and Jack would just like get the game going off. Griff, all the Pittsburgh DJs. Big shout out to all those guys. Been grinding with since 2003.
Right.
But yeah, they used to play big. Like I don't remember if it was Jack or Baby Dick or somebody sent me.
Baby Dick, that's Clarence. What a beauty.
Somebody hit me up and let me know that they played like a $250,000 pot at like 5, 10, 25 PLO or some shit.
Wait, Baby Dick
Yeah, Baby Dick. You know Baby Dick. Come on. Everybody knows
great.
Baby Dick.
I got a CSA for you guys.
Oh boy.
No.
Draymond Green has been suspended
For kicking what's his face in
for
the nuts?
1 game for stomping on Sabonis's chest.
Well,
Oh, it was his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the clip. For once, I actually wasn't necessarily totally on or against Draymond there. It kind of appeared like he tried not to do it. But also, like,
I don't know, man.
also, like, your past history just kind of speaks for itself. Oh, Brent, fuck. I can't believe I was going to lead with this. Did you see who the Steelers just traded for?
No, I've barely been on social. Everything has been reading about you and Doug. What? It's not a bill, is it? What?
No,
it's a former Penn Stater.
We're bringing him home, baby. Allen Robinson coming to the Berg.
That's right.
Oh, you got Allen. I didn't even know. Wow, he still plays.
Bro, how old do you think he is?
36.
He's got
No,
he's probably not
like
as old as
32.
you think. I'll go 35.
Okay, you guys are both
Oh,
where
no.
I thought he was. He's 29,
Yeah, I was
man.
gonna say, he's
29?
younger than that.
Wow.
He is 29. This dude's like just
Listen,
right around his prime.
He just needs to be in a Steeler uniform to get back into where he used to be.
That's right.
That's all it is. I mean,
he's been on down bad teams
right,
his entire career.
Exactly. Now he's got
Finally went to the Rams after they won the Super Bowl, and they ended up being a 1-win team.
got powerful Pickett.
He's never really gotten it going for quite a while. I mean, is Kenny Pickett going to be able to get him the ball?
Oh, you
it's-
know it.
Honestly, it's tough because all of the targets are going right to Devin or
Picking.
Picken.
Pickett the Pickens. Pickett the
yeah.
Pickens.
As long as they don't go to the fucking fire dumpster garbage, Deontay Johnson.
Bro,
Deontay
Deontay Johnson's fucking good, man. You guys are idiots.
No, he's so good at getting open. Catching the ball is his problem.
I thought he got traded. No.
Deontay Johnson?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Listen.
I'm thinking of Claypool.
Yeah, Claypool.
Yeah.
Bro, what a steal we got for Claypool. We got the number 1 pick in the second round for a guy who went to the Bears and had like 12 catches for 250 yards or some shit.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He didn't pan out. I really thought he was going to be a talent. We're watching the.
Yeah, we're
there we go.
demonetized. Bang!
Come
Right
on,
there.
Guap.
Let's go, Guap.
Come on, Guap, man.
That
You
stop
gotta know,
costs like
these big businesses, WWE, NBA, MLB, they don't let us use their shit.
Right.
They come for us, man.
You are toast with this highlight.
Yeah. God damn it.
It was
He
only
couldn't
like
help
4
himself.
seconds. He's fine.
It was an MMA clip. He couldn't help
You
himself,
think they
guys.
care about how much time it was?
You know,
That's
you
all
got to
right.
be careful too because of the YouTube warfare that's out there. I'm not suggesting that this has happened to us in the past, but perhaps if you have enemies on YouTube that are coming after you, a real discreet way is to report such incidences like this. Yeah. So if you've got a gripe with somebody or a company, then you sort of find these things to target where they're making mistakes and you try and get them shut down.
Sure.
Is this what
Who
you
has
do?
that kind of time, man?
I'm just saying, I could see some folks doing that.
Yeah, no, I
really
understand.
careful, maybe with not putting the NBA on your fucking podcast.
Well, let me tell you, you don't have to get reported when you do that kind of stuff. They're really good at just automatically finding.
They're gonna find you.
Right.
Yeah.
They flag you right away. It's okay though. YouTube has this cool feature where you can edit it out. So you could just like clip that part out and then everything's fine and dandy. So we just eliminate that 4 seconds and then everything's right back to normal.
There you go. There you go.
Oh man. All right. I don't have any more. I mean, it's so wild because today was so much of a dumpster fire on Twitter. And somehow, like, I don't have anything left to say.
Hasn't every day recently
said it all,
been?
Berkey, you said it all.
I feel like every day recently has been a dumpster fire on Twitter.
I wouldn't know. I've been off it for a while.
It's been like a good week and a half of like constant dumpster fires.
I've been off it for a while. I guess I will touch on this a little bit. There was like the last thing that was kind of discussed was Doug replied in line to one of my tweets and said, despite Berkey's timeline being incorrect on this, we're happy to receive his full approval of our suite of secure measures at the lodge. First, I feel like somebody in his company wrote that tweet. It was just like, enough's enough, bro. Give me your Twitter credentials. Like, no, I'm not giving them to you. It's like, give me the login. They wrote that tweet and then like changed all his passwords and won't give it back to him. You haven't heard from him since. But I found that to be especially weird because, a lot of the gotcha content that he makes is when you speak a little out of pocket or you are speaking hyperbolically and, he chops the bit or chops the clip a little bit so it looks like you're saying something very literal and meaningful, kind of like what Persons did with me saying 100% on Live the Bike or whatever. So, he really leans heavy into like, I will demonstrate what the truth is. I have receipts for all of this. Like, the timeline was precisely what I said it was. On September 26th, somebody got held up in the lodge parking lot. We made a podcast about it. Later that day, he DM'd me. And, we disagreed about a lot of things. He pointed out some things that I got wrong. I said, okay, I'll make a correction the following day. The following day, we put out a correction piece on our podcast. And then 1 week later, he was at HCL touring the entire studio, including the peak room and, where they do all the business. And he came out with a video and said, like, 2 thumbs up for how HCL is handling everything. I feel good about playing on this stream. Like, it's totally secure. And then, like 8 weeks later, HCL releases the findings of the report, and there are a dozen points of weakness where the stream could have gotten cheated. So I don't understand.
Do you have a CoinFlex hat?
I don't. No.
We got to get you one for this stream.
No, I won't do that.
I bet Guapo could like superimpose one on.
Guapo might have one. He might have thrifted one.
No,
get everything out of you with all this stuff on the show, on Twitter, high stakes poker.
It's all about the poker.
You're there to play poker. You're there to go after each other. I know personal comments might happen, but let's not shred businesses.
I'm 30 hours into the Airball challenge, and I have yet to say a single word to this man outside of, is it your turn to pay the rake or mine? I can promise you I won't say anything out of pocket.
Wait, you guys don't play bomb pots for the rake?
We should.
You got beat up yesterday? Is that or sorry,
2 days
Sunday?
ago? Yeah. We tried to cover the hands yesterday, and then I realized that I didn't win a single hand that went to showdown. That was meaningful anyway. Yeah. And all the ones that didn't go to showdown, I didn't want to reveal my hand.
You didn't see Airball popping bottles? It's over, man. The whole match is done.
I saw some videos. It was
celebrating, spraying champagne all over himself.
Yeah. I mean, it probably feels good to. Again, I'm not team Airball. I'm not team. Yeah. I'm just kind of down the middle. He was down 500K at one point. Came back, kind of was down 30K, and now he's up a little bit of money. I mean, maybe he should have a little champagne. It was damn.
Yeah, he should, because this is the best it's going to get for him.
Look, I'm not much of a heads up player, but I've been playing a high variance strategy for quite some time. And I know that it's very rare, small sample or not, for things to go directly up or directly down. So, the he was losing and now he's winning arc.
I don't like. I know you were saying how he has all these side bets and he's just going to try to lock up a win.
Well, he can't yet.
Right, he can't yet. But I really think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think he was playing the way he was the last couple hours of that match because he wanted to lock up the win just for that night. He wanted that moment. He wanted that moment where he's clinking champagne glasses with all of his buddies and he just wanted that moment where he's like, I got him, right? He just wanted it.
It does make a little bit of sense when you have 6-day layoff.
Right. So he just wanted to have that because otherwise, maybe you just run through him and before you know it, he's down $1 million and it's over, and he doesn't get that moment.
I
so
thought
he's like,
somebody
if I
won the
just
Super Bowl.
stop playing cards for the next 2 hours, I can have this moment.
The sick
put it
thing
all
is,
over Twitter
the sick
and say,
thing
I
is,
beat him.
The sick thing is that last 2 hours, I ran like God. I must have had trips 5 different times, just flop trips. I flopped the flush a couple times. None of those hands made it to the river.
Yeah, of course not.
Berk,
yeah.
Are you guys supposed to play again before the 27th on high stakes poker?
Oh yeah. We'll have three more sessions in before then.
This weekend, right?
Okay, 3 more sessions, and then roughly
Next week.
for the 100 hours, when are you expected to complete?
It should end May, if all things go according to plan and we don't miss any more unscheduled days. It should end either May 14th or May 15th, depending if we have to extend to a third day that weekend or not.
Okay, would you be open? And I'm not. I will do my best on my own. Would you be open to playing the final, 5-6 hours to finish this thing off? If the match is close, or depending on what it's at, would you be open to that portion being streamed?
I'm always open to have discussions. I'm way more probable to do something like that than I ever would have been to stream the first 5 to 15 hours.
And I understand. You and I talked on the side. I get that. But for the final, right? There's there's no intel coming. There's no coaches.
I will say this much: I would be very likely to stream it if he was in a situation where he was trying to kneel on the ball. So if his side bets are such that he's up like 150 or something like that going into the last session or two, and his sole goal is to basically fold his way to $1 in victory, I would simply want to stream it just for the sheer magnitude of embarrassment that he would suffer.
What kind
it would be so worth it to me.
What kind of stipend are we looking at here, Brent?
I'll
I'm not even working for Berkey, I gotta.
Have you met my manager?
I'll get on that part as well. I'm guessing not much. How about no?
Well, you got that open bar for Lamanna, right?
Right.
The hard
listen,
part is
just
the closer you get to WSOP,
Yeah.
you have no crew because, as you know, our whole staff, all the equipment, we're right in the horseshoe. We're getting set up for the World Series. So
yeah, I made it a point to say that this has to end before the WSOP.
If it doesn't, can we find a time where they can play in the Thunderdome? The final match in the Thunderdome.
I'm certainly willing to explore.
Oh man, with an audience. Oh my god.
Yeah, it sounds all peachy keen. Hopefully there's something worth streaming, and hopefully that thing that's worth streaming is whether or not he hits his $1 million stop loss. That would be that'd be a great storyline as far as I don't think it's going to be like that though. I truly don't think this match is going to swing very heavily one way or the other. We may see some swings. To the point where somebody
been almost $500,000.
Not really. He was down 400 in a session and only lost 130. He was down 300 the next session.
Yeah, those are almost
even.
$500,000 swings, right?
Kind of. Not really. First of all, he never was actually stuck 500. But even still, it's just I don't know. I don't keep score until the last hand is dealt. So it seems silly to me to look at what was happening on hand 67 when we were going to play 420 hands that day or something like that. But yeah, I think maybe we'll see some peaks and valleys of plus or minus 350, 400. But I imagine that when it's all said and done, it's going to be a couple buy-ins one way or the other.
Does the winner of this match get a signed Jeff Platt pitcher Jeff Platt autograph on a Landon Towel picture.
They should.
Wow, that's strong.
I feel like we start giving those away.
I mean, would have to like superimpose Jeff into a Landon Tice towel picture that's superimposed onto another background. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on there, Conrad. You're asking for the get to work. You have Photoshop.
I do.
You know how this works.
Maybe I'll try.
Sure. Brent, you back in studio next week?
Yeah, I'll be there. Oh wait, no, is that next week Tuesday? What day is Tuesday?
Week
the
from the day.
23rd.
Week from the day.
Oh, I'm filming, man.
No, sorry, the 25th.
25th.
I'm going to be filming 22 to 27, so I'm going to be locked up.
All right. Platt locked up also?
I'll probably be, you'll probably just have Jeff. I don't think I'll be able to get over there. We're
Okay.
going to be.
All right. Well, that's fine. I guess I got a big week ahead. Looks like I have 3 heads-up matches this weekend and then high-stakes poker the following week.
Oh, baby.
Wait, where's Jeff tonight?
Where?
Yeah, why didn't Jeff call in too?
Where's
Date
Jeff?
night, man.
Date night.
Oh.
He's at another
Yeah.
Taylor Swift concert.
He's out there. He's got some lucky lady. It's a big night for him.
Talk about lucky ladies. He takes someone to the Taylor Swift concert
And then ghosted her.
Yeah.
and ghosted her?
Is this real life?
I don't know about the ghosting.
I don't know about the ghosting thing either.
I mean, the guy is, he's special. He's out there on the prowl.
He is.
God bless.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Just looking for that special someone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I have Doug. Maybe he'll have his own little Doug Airball threesome in the future. One can only hope,
The
Brent.
kind of guy, man, that has, he doesn't have enemies quite like you do.
At one point in time, and I maybe this was just I was unaware of what people thought of me, but at one point in time, if you had asked me like who hated me, I would have just been like, I don't think anybody. Like maybe there's a bunch of people that don't know me, but like I think the people I come in contact probably have like no opinion or a good opinion of me. Now I have the exact opposite thoughts. Like, who hates me? I don't know, man. Some guy named Bill in Missouri that, like, I said something wrong about a 1-3 player in the Midwestern state somewhere, and now he just loathes my face.
Don't worry, a guy from Montana likes you.
That's true. A guy from Montana does it. There's a guy in our
Very
comments.
nice.
There's a guy in our comments that every single episode
he
says
him.
something derogatory and claims that our show only gets 3K views. But I know for a fact he is one of the 3K views, which, by the way, it's more than that. But he's one of the views for 259 episodes. This man has been here.
Shout out to Don Jones.
That's not who it is.
I know, but talking about people that are in there every single week.
All right.
My man sticks to the Nick Fertucci's a real estate scammer.
Oh yeah.
What can I say?
Every single episode he leaves the comments.
Shout out to you, Don.
Every single one. It's impressive. Honestly,
amazing.
the consistency of YouTube, the commenters, it's something to behold. Brent, thank you so much for joining us. I actually appreciate you coming in with the hard takes early, even though I know deep
I'm
down.
not intending them to be hard takes. I'm
Well,
simply just trying to open up
I know.
maybe a couple doors to
You're playing devil's advocate and you're doing your
shake a
job
hand
well.
or two. Let
Nobody-
bygones be bygones.
No
To
one's
me,
shaking any fucking hands.
That's right.
You want your drama match? You got your drama match.
Listen, to
So
give
what-
homage to
Listen,
Berkey's
I would-
shirt over there, you mess with the bull, you're going to get the fucking horn.
If you guys, somewhere down the road, I'd love to see a handshake.
Yeah. You know what? Me, Vertucci, Doug, Airball, we're all gonna have a little picnic together, swap horror stories, old tales of days past, and maybe throw a few back.
Well, if you don't, I mean, you're just making my job easier. So I don't know why I'm wishing for this.
You're welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? You're fucking welcome. All right.
You keep picking fights, pal.
It's about time I held up my end of this friendship. You're welcome. I hope I'm making your life a little bit easier. Appreciate you getting me in the mix. All right, team. We'll be back at the normal time tomorrow, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. That'll be the time that we're here for the rest of the week. You heard it here first.
I hate this nighttime shit, man.
We're usually in bed by now.
I'm so tired.
Would you let me close the show?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Lamanna's drunk talking all over everybody. You're over here making my life difficult too.
Fucking late night, man. This
Brent's
is how
tired.
we get down.
Brent's got to get the kids to bed. All right, we will be here tomorrow, noon Pacific. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We'll see you all then.
Later.
Peace.
Yeah.